We are going to continue on with reading our read aloud, and we are getting closer and closer to the ending of this book. And endings are really, really special times in books. So, as we're reading, I really want you focusing and paying attention to how Keck has changed, how he's grown, how our idea of hope helping him through these hard situations, how we can keep adding on to that interpretation. This chapter is called Hearts. Hannah leads me to shelves full of colorful dishes. I like some with many stripes, but she says I can't afford them. She picks out a small box of white ones. This should pretty much replace what you broke, Hannah says. I cradle the box gently in my arms, the way I would carry a newborn calf. On the way to the paying place, we pass many red sparkling cards. So much much candy. Some of it's even chocolate. Valentine's Day is in a couple of days, Hannah explains. You give stuff to people you like, plus it just happens to be my birthday. Hey, when's your birthday? I don't know, I admit. We don't have birthdays in the way that you do. But I know I was born in the time you call summer. Hannah looks confused by this news. It's hard for me to remember that she sometimes finds my ways as strange as I find hers. I must find you a gift, I say, after I pay you back the money I owe for the bus and the washing. How much do I have left? No way, Hannah says. You're not spending your hard earned money on yours truly. But it would make me very proud, I argue, and it's my duty as your friend. Hannah grins out of one side of her mouth, a silly tilted smile, like a new moon rising. Okay. See that little box of heart candy? You could afford that. It must be chocolate, I say firmly. Keck loves his chocolate. She scans the shelves. Here, she says at last. She hands me a shiny little heart. Perfect. We stand in a long line. When I give the lady my money for the dishes and the heart, my own heart grows so big with pride, I fear it might pop open like a ripe seed pod. I earned this money, I tell her. I take care of a cow. It's a fine job. The lady smiles politely. If you say so, hun. Again, I'm learning that America people don't understand the wonder of a cow. Maybe if they had more cows on the TV machine, people would begin to feel as Ganwar and I do. You can have your dogs and cats, your gerbils and hamsters, and sleek, sparkling fish, but you will have lived just half a life if you never have a cow. White girl. In front of our apartment, I give the shiny heart to Hannah. Happy birthday and happy Valentine's Day, I say, to my good friend Hannah. 3 boys walk past just as Hannah slips the silver heart into the pocket of her coat. They glare at us with eyes that shoot poison. Leave the white girl alone, one yells. Hands off, boy. Just ignore them, Hannah whispers. She pulls me inside and slams the door shut. A moment later, she opens it a crack and peers out. They're gone, she says. I shake my head. I don't understand, I say. Me neither, Hannah says. Me neither. You shouldn't have pulled me inside, I mutter. They're jerks, Hannah yanks off her mittens. I didn't want you to get hurt. I am a man, I say, standing tall. Sure you are, Hannah says. I just, didn't see the point in a fight. Why does it matter? I can't explain. Suddenly, I feel tired of using words that don't belong to me. Never mind, I say. I trudge up the stairs. My aunt is surprised to see the box from me. A present, she keeps saying. A present for me? She opens the dishes and hugs me hard. You are such a fine boy, Keck, she says. I feel happy about the dishes and bad about the angry boys. It's hard to feel 2 things at once, so I try not to feel anything. I sit next to Ganwar on the sofa. Together, we watch the TV machine tell its happy, easy stories. Noticing this happening a lot with Keck, where he's feeling 2 feelings at once. And that's complicated, right? If you've ever felt that way, happy and sad at the same time, or trying to be hopeful but not too hopeful at the same time. And so this is something I'm noticing happening a lot to Keck as he's trying to adapt to a new country, but also not lose his feeling of where his home is. Scars. Every weekend, and other days sometimes, Ganwar and I go to Lou's. It feels good to go somewhere simple, to work and sing and eat cookies with chocolate. Ganwar doesn't say so, but I think he is calmer on these days. Sometimes he even whistles a radio song or tells me jokes in English that I don't understand. Always, though, I laugh to make him happy. One afternoon, Ganwar and I rebuild a gate that's rotted away at the edge of the field. It's long work, and we sweat under our thick coats. The sun is still weary and weak, like a traveler too long on the road, but each day it's trying harder to warm the world. Ganwar wipes away sweat with his arm. The 6 lines etched in his forehead glisten, remember from their village. I will never have the gar, I say suddenly. My words surprise me. It's an idea I've never let myself think about until now. The initiation ceremony is part of another place, a place I may never return to. You're lucky, Ganwar says. Why would you want such scars? Here, they mean nothing. There, they meant everything, I say. I lean on the fence. How will I know when I'm a man? Ganwar keeps hammering. When you own a fine car and a house with many bathrooms, then you're a man in this country, he answers with a smile. It isn't so funny, I say. You've been tested and I haven't. You were brave. I look away. I don't want him to see my eyes and what lies hidden there. Me, I haven't been. Sure you have, Ganwar replies. You were in the camp alone. You came here alone. That's plenty brave. It doesn't take a knife in the hand of a village elder for you to prove yourself. I pick up my hammer and slam it hard against a rusty nail sticking out of the wood. That's easy for you to say. After that, I won't talk anymore, but I hammer many nails as hard as I can. Even with my gloves on, I have a good hurting blister to show for it. I really like this part and how you're starting to see Ganwar and Kek's relationship kind of change as they work together at the farm. Bad news. More weeks pass. Something strange is happening to the world. I hear bird song now where only silence filled the air before. Tiny green hints dot the trees and bushes. The snow is getting smaller and grayer, like an old person whose time has passed. Dave says it's called spring. One morning, Lou calls us to come into her kitchen. A plate of warm chocolate cookies waits for us. I'm happy about this until I see Lou's ankle covered by a thick white bandage. Sprained the dang thing last night, she says. Slipped in the barn. Do you have many pains? I ask. Nah, she waves away the question, like a troublesome insect. But it's gotten me to thinking, boys. Even with your help, I just can't keep this place running anymore. I wish it weren't that way. I've been here a long, long time. It's hard to sell and move on. Ganwar nods. He doesn't look surprised. It's okay, Lou. We knew it probably wouldn't last. I stare out the window. Where will you go? I ask in a whisper. When the farm is sold. Lou lifts her shoulders. I'm not sure. This has been my home so long. I don't know anywhere else. I have a sister in Los Angeles. She makes a face. Not sure I could stand all that nice weather. What would I complain about? We can stay on as long as you need us, Ganwar says. He doesn't sound mad at all. He sounds like he's used to being disappointed. What about Galt? I ask. My voice has a crack in it. Lou looks out the window too. I don't know, Kek. They're going to build a strip mall. Won't be needing a cow, I'm guessing. She sighs. Galt is a very old, tired animal. I don't think we'll probably be able to find anyone who wants her. I'm sorry, hun. I leap to my feet. My chair falls back with a loud thud. I hate it here, I scream. I want to go home. I run out of the door and across the field toward the bus stop. I'm glad that Lou can't follow me with her sore foot. I'm sorry that I'm glad and I'm mad that Ganwar isn't mad enough. Wondering how this is going to affect Kek's hopefulness. He seemed so hopeful, and now after this disappointment, it will be interesting to see what happens. No more. I stop working at Lou's. Ganwar keeps going to the farm, but he doesn't say anything to me about it. When he comes home with hay and mud stuck to the bottom of his running shoes, I leave the room. Lou calls for me on my aunt's telephone to see if I will change my mind, but I won't talk to her. She tells my aunt I'm a hard worker. She says she and Gull miss my smile. One morning, Mr. Franklin says, Hey, cowboy, and I almost start to cry. I say, Please don't call me that anymore. I am just Kek now. But I don't tell him why. Hannah says I'm cutting off my nose to spite my face. I don't know what this means, so she explains it means you're being a stubborn moron boy. She looks a little sad when she says this, so I don't get mad at her. Why don't you at least keep going for a while? She asks. It could be months before she leaves. Because at the end, I know Lou and Gull and the farm will be gone forever, I say. Can't you understand this feeling? Hannah chews on her lip. Yeah, I guess I can, she says at last. I wonder if maybe she is thinking about her mother, who is not a foster, but I don't ask. Last day. The day is warm and the world begins again. I think of Gull nosing the ground, grateful to find tender grass appearing at her feet. After spring, Ganwar says, comes the time called summer, and no school, and sun strong as a young man. He says Lou may not leave until summer ends, but I close my ears to his words. The last day of school, Miss Hernandez and Mr. Franklin put our desks into a circle. Miss Hernandez stands in the middle. Here comes a speech, she says. We all groan. That noise is the same in all languages, she laughs. I promise it'll be a very short speech. I just want you to know that I'm very proud of all of you. You've learned much and come far this year. She makes a funny sound in her throat, but I do not think she has a cold. Like so many immigrants before you, I know you'll help make this country a better, stronger place. She wipes her eyes. Okay, speech over. Mr. Franklin brings over a big box and places it on a desk. Inside is a cake, an amazing long cake. I wonder if maybe it's the biggest cake in the world. Ta-da, he says. In the middle of the cake is a green lady with her arm in the air. She's holding a green candle. Anybody recognize this old gal? Mr. Franklin asks. The Statue of Liberty, everyone yells at once. Why is she falling over? Jaime asks. Hey, I'm a teacher, not a baker, says Mr. Franklin. Maybe she's tired, Miss Hernandez suggests. She has a big job after all. Why does she have a dog? Pedro asks. Mr. Franklin sighs loudly. That isn't a dog, it's a cow. It's supposed to be Gull, he shrugs. I thought it would be a nice touch. I look away. I still haven't told anyone at school that Gull will soon be gone. There are words all over the cake in green letters, many words in squiggles. Before we eat, Miss Hernandez says, we read. Everyone groans again, but she holds a finger to her lips, and you know that means business. Mr. Franklin lights the candle, and Miss Hernandez makes her voice extra soft so that we will pay attention. That is a trick teachers like to use. These are important words, she says. They mean that this is your country now and forever. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send those, the homeless, tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. The candle glows in the green lady's hand, and I don't understand all the words, but somehow I know they're strong and fine. I wonder if someday it will feel like they are meant for me too. And then we eat the cake, all of it, except Gull. So we're hearing a little hope kind of start creeping back with Keck. All right, that is where we're ending today.